today we will make a peace sign, and it can be used as a pendant. Actually, this one is going to be a bracelet, a cuff bracelet. You see it's curved. I curved it over a mandrel, and I'll show you everything you need to know as we go. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, first of all, you can use for this project 12 gauge sterling silver round wire, or you can use 10 gauge sterling silver round wire. This one is a 12 gauge, which is also good. I mean, it looks substantial enough, so it's up to you. But the technique is going to be the same, okay? It doesn't matter whatever gauge of wire you want to choose, okay? First of all, we form the 7 inches of that 12 gauge sterling silver round wire into a perfect circle. As you see, the joints need to be perfectly aligned with each other, okay? No gaps, no nothing. So now we're going to proceed to solder. We apply flux to that joint, and I use hard solder, okay? So we'll do that. So now here's my torch. I use a Hope torch. It's propane and oxygen. All right. Done. Now the circle is pickled. Now we're going to form it. I fortunately have this mandrel. I think I bought probably locally, or if not, you can buy it at Rio or Auto Fray. It's a hoop mandrel, and we'll just slide that circle there. And I use actually my Delrin, and you do your thing. You know how to do that, I'm sure. You just tap around the circle, the hoop. You do it one side, pull it out, and you do the other side, as you would do with a ring. Tap it lightly, take it out and look at it. I think I'm quite happy with that. Just a little bit more on this side. Just a little bit more all around. Just rotate as you tap around. I'm happy with it. Now you take it to a steel block, you put this on the side, you bring a steel block right here. Right? This is a very beautiful one. This is a frets. So I put it on the steel block and I tap it. So we eliminate any kink it might have. Turn it around, do the same thing. It's totally flat against the block. Correct? A little bit more. It's perfect. Now the next step would be clean this solder, the extra solder. So now we take the number 2 half round needle file and take that solder that's extra there off of that ring. Moving the piece slightly. You're gonna take 240. Then I take 280. And then I take 800. You know, you can judge, you know, how it's going, you know, how many times or how long you have to stay there cleaning, you know, so you don't want to leave facets, you know. And then I take 1200. You know, we clean as we go as well, you know, because we're going to continue to solder. Try to remember where the seam is so you stay away from it while you solder, okay? That's a good thing to know. Now with a Sharpie, I decided to mark where my seam is, so I'm careful and don't touch that part. So I know that around here, I'm going to stay away when I'm soldering. First of all, we need to make this wire really straight, okay? Really straight. All of them, actually. All of them are kind of bent, you see? A little bit curved. So I'm going to take it to the steel block and pound on them and make them really straight. We're pounding on it. This is really curved, so I need it to lay flat on the steel block. So I'm going to move it. I'm going to turn it as I tap. And you continue to tap until you see that the complete wire is sitting flat on the steel block. No gaps in between, okay? So pretty much we got all three of them. All of them are flat, as you see. Okay, so that's it for the wires right now. As you guys can see, I have one of these charts that a friend gave me for the center of circles that I use very often. I think it's really handy. I don't complicate myself too much. Okay, so I want the solder away from wherever I'm going to solder next. So I'm going to place this in the center. Really good, and I'm going to mark where my center is. It's right there. Okay? Right there. This is my center. Okay? That's it. So my next step, you see that I need to cut the wire to fit in the inner circle, right? So what I'm going to do is that I am going to mark 1 millimeter above the inner circle. So I'm going to cut right here, and not in the inner circle, but 1 millimeter away from it. Okay, so I have enough to make a notch so it fits in inside of the inner circle. So as you see, I am going to cut right there. Okay. Okay, and right there. Right. Right, so there you go. If you take a close look, right, the wire does not fit completely inside of that circle, right? One side and the other one. What we're going to do is we're going to create a notch right here. we're gonna do the same direction on both ends, right? We're gonna mark where we're gonna do the notch, and this one this way, okay? Both in the same direction, okay? That's what we want to do. It's like mirroring, okay? So for that, we're going to use a tiny round file, one of the smallest files that you can find. So here's the smallest round file that I have. Look, it's very, very tapered and very thin, very small. I don't know the number of this. Oh, it says a number 2 Swiss, okay, round file, very tiny needle file, you know. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take, oopsie, okay, we're going to take the wire, right, and we're going to start filing. What I do first, I would go with my saw, right, and saw through that line, right, to make a guide, okay? So I'll do that. I'll saw through it to make me a guide. So I take the needle file, I press this against this little notch that I have here. I have my notch right here, and I start filing, right? This is going to be filing and testing, all right? Okay, so here is my center. Like I said, center's right here. So we're gonna see, it looks good right there. It's touching, and it kind of clamps itself in there, right? It's like a little hand, I would say, and it grabs from the inside of that ring, right? So let's see. It's let's measure. Okay, I have it right there, and still look, I have to do this other side as well. So let's see, let's file a little bit the other side. I think it's a little bit too long. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna file that again and redo it, because this is like testing, really. You know, file a little bit and restart the notch again. Always marking, you know. Let's see here. Testing, okay. Go back to your circle. Go back to your circle. Anchor that notch there. Anchor it here. And see how, okay. I think I'm gonna probably file a little bit more. It's too long still. Okay. Let's see. Let's go back. Let's test again. See how far it is in. I think it's perfect. Let's see. Okay, so let's mark again. Let's mark. It's on this side right here. So let's mirror the other side, right? Okay. So let's do the notch again. Okay, we have our notch, and let's file. There it is. Oops. Okay, so we have the other notch on this other side, so let's test it again. So see, the notch is right there. Push it. It's right there. See? It's just... in the notch. The notch is grabbing the inner circle, right? So there it is, the center. So here's the peace sign we're going to solder now, right? Here's my little pieces of hard solder on each side. Jeez. Right. So we're going to focus in there. See, the solder is away from, the first solder joint is away, so we don't have to worry about it anymore. Just worry about this. Done. Very good. It's done. Soldered. Boom. So now to the pickle. So now you can see it's pickled, and it's in the middle, right in the center, right? So we're gonna do the other ones. That has to be, we have to pick, not the center, but a little, I would say 3 millimeters down from the center, you know. And we'll do the same thing. We're gonna cut 2 pieces, and we're gonna anchor them from here to here, doing the same technique. It's gonna be slightly different on this one because it's in a different angle. And do the anchor on both sides, you know, finding the center of the wire, mirroring both sides, mirroring the lines on both sides of the wire, and then cutting with your saw the guideline, and then going in with your round file, tiny file, right, and anchor them. For this part now, I would get a picture of a peace sign so you can guide yourself. Some people like the line in the center, so start anchoring from the center down. Some people like it like 3 millimeters below the center, like right here. So I guess it's your preference, you know. I did this one like a little bit, like 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters down from the center, you know. And I'll probably do this one the same way. Okay, so I take my chart, right, and I'm gonna mark right here. You're gonna make it the same angle on both sides, okay? So there's where I'm going to anchor it. I like it. This distance is good. The same distance. I think you can download this chart on Google. Let me find exactly, and I will just note it down below. So anyway, like I said, I put my circle right in the center, and then I did an angle. I picked the angle that I liked best, you know, and that's more like a peace sign, right? So I did, you do whatever you want, I mean whatever distance you want from the center to the sides on each side. Just have to be the same, okay? Have to be mirrored. Okay, so this is what I have right now. This is a center finder template that I was given. It was a really nice friend of mine, a good friend of mine, gave this to me, but you can find it online as well. I just Googled it, and there's a center finder. There's a ruler also that you can use. I will give you the website where you can, I think you can print them out. You can buy them, or you buy the ruler, or maybe you already have one, so you can use it. Okay, they're very handy. I love them. So that's what you got. So now we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna do the same thing, right? We're gonna do the little anchors here on each side of the wires and place them correctly. So like I said, I'm gonna cut this wire in half. All right, so I'm gonna be okay, so we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the guide here. Oh, what am I doing? It's just... So it's anchored right here, right? Anchored right there. And okay, it's anchored. So this one is going to come like this, right? So we will have to cut the wire on this side in an angle. Okay? I'm going to try to position it, try to anchor it. I'm going to make this deeper so it fits better on the inside of that circle. All right. So we're going to cut like that at an angle. Right? Okay. Not right there, just like 2 millimeters above that cut. I mean, above that line, okay? We're gonna cut above that line, about 2 millimeters above that line. Okay, now I'm gonna use my parallel pliers. Remember, this way. Okay. Let's cut in an angle here. Above, like I said, 2 millimeters above that line, okay? Because it's better longer than shorter, you know? It's always like that. it's in a slant, right? It can test your patience. Yeah. Okay. See, it's not that easy, huh? A peace sign like you just like the drawing. No, I'm gonna cut a little bit more. Same direction, okay? The direction of that slant that you already made. I'm gonna file it now. I'm not gonna cut. The file will be enough. Will be enough. Okay. I'm gonna file in a slant, okay, following the same cut. Test again. Like I said, this is just about fitting for test. To be patient, I need my I'm gonna use this to help me here because it's not gonna be easy. Right there, okay? So now this one, I am going to file in the same direction of that slant, okay? Keep doing that until it rests perfectly, then we notch. See, it's almost there. We're gonna make a little line in the center. And then cut right there for our guide. Right? And then take our needle file and make that notch. Now it has this, the slant is, can you see? So now for the other side, we're going to do the same thing that we did with this one. We're going to do the notch first on this side, and then we're going to work this one by slanting this because it's going to rest on this wall here. So we're going to slant and then I'm going to make a notch in that direction, right? So let's do that. So there you have it. I did the notch for this sides, you know, like a little handle like that. It anchors to the wire into the inner part of the circle. And the side of the wire that goes attached to the center, I slanted it because it's positioned that way, and then I notched it so it anchors in onto that wire. So from here, now we're going to solder those 4 points, okay? With hard solder. Spray this with flux. So what I do is that I solder first the center right here, right, these top wires here, because it might move, so I just want to make sure just to solder here and make that secured. Okay, this is not what I want. I don't want that. And then if they move, I just take care of it later. All right. I am going to pickle, and then I'm going to fix these here. I'll open them a little bit more and make sure that they're anchored. Now that we have soldered these 2 points and the center, we have these 2 sides loose because those are the 2 last things that we want to do, so we can check the distances here and make sure that they are the same. So for me right now, I just have to move this one a little bit, so I use a flat nose plier. This is the motion. You take the flat nose plier and move it back and forth and just set it where you need it to be to make both sides the same distance. This is the motion. Okay, with this flat nose plier, you move it, you know, and that's what I mean. That's how I do it. I think it's even. So now we're going to proceed to solder this and this right here. So after you solder, you would pickle, of course, and then if it was me, I would clean the extra solder that I have and then shape it. But you can do whatever you want. What I would do first is, like I said, clean the solder, the extra solder, and sand it very well. Or if you have that clean cut media that I talk about in one of my videos, it's a good one. I use it all the time. I give the part number. If you go to that video, you can check it out. It's a very, very good media to clean. It's a good abrasive. From there, I would take it to the polishing machine or to a magnetic tumbler, and you will see. I would do the final polish for this piece on a polishing machine because it's beautiful. As you can see, guys, now it's completely soldered. I soldered these 2 sides, and it looks pretty good. I think ready to clean. I'm going to clean it first. Like I said, I want to throw it in the media first before I form it, and then I'll polish it. But it looks pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah, it's really, really nice. It's just similar to this one. It's just smaller, yes, but it's the same technique. Like I said, I'm gonna make a bigger cuff, but you know the technique you can make. It's beautiful too, you know, beautiful cuff. I think it's really, really beautiful. All right, so let's do that. What you do now is you take your number 2 needle file, the half round, and you clean where you find the extra solder, okay? So you just clean it. Don't press too hard. This is just about cleaning, okay? So you do that in all the areas that you see that extra. All right. I also luckily have this tiny one that I use as well. It's really good because it reaches these places that you cannot reach with a larger one, you know. So this is what you do. Okay, so after you clean all that, the next step is to throw this in. If you have a magnetic tumbler, that's good as well. If you have a large tone tumbler, I recommend you to use the clean cut media from Rio Grande that I said that earlier. And actually I have a video that you can check and learn about that media that I'm talking about, which is the most amazing media that I have used. Truly for me, that works really good for me. Everybody has their own way of cleaning, different products. There are so many products that you can use, but like I said before, the clean cut media, and after that the polishing machine, it's just great for my jewelry. So I love that, and I stick with it. Okay, so now I'm going to do that, throw it in that media. Okay, the sign is polished, not highly polished, but polished. I left it in the clean cut media for an hour, like I said. Then I tumbled it in the magnetic tumbler to make it a little bit polished for the video. But you don't have to, because if you're going to make a cuff bracelet, then you have to continue working. So I mean, I am a person that as I go, I clean, you know, so I don't have all that in at the end. So I think that's a good thing to do. Now I have this swage block, and it's a big one that I have, and I have this. This is a wooden stick that I'm going to use to pound this and make it, you see, curved, to make it curved, beautiful curve. I mean, this one fits here pretty well, as you can see. So I'm going to do that, and I'll show you. Okay, so I am going to curve the peace sign. I'm making sure that's on the right side. So now I'm going to curve it. If you don't have, of course, a swage block, you're going to use a mandrel or anything that can help you make a curve like that. You can use a bracelet mandrel. You see but how beautiful that is? It's just very nice. Fits, oh, oops, I'm sorry. It fits so beautifully, you know. I love it. Very beautiful. So you can make a pendant out of it, even earrings, you know, make it a pin, anything. You can make the whole set. So, well, I hope you enjoyed the video and like it, you know. If you have any questions, just let me know and I'll be glad to help. As you can see, this one does not fit in there. It's too large. I made it too big, you know, but this one does fit. And it has, you know, and I think it's good enough. I mean, the size, I was just, you know, me with my large things, you know, super large. But this one is beautiful. Something that I want to say to end this tutorial is that the piece, you would say, as a metalsmith or as a beginner, I would say I can do that and just do it, you know, as you think it is. That's good too, but it's also important to know how to do things. It seems easy, and it is easy, but you need all these little details, you know, in order to get to that point. All those tiny details, the center, to do the cutting with the saw, the notch, the anchoring of the pieces, of the wires, soldering first one part of the peace sign, and then leaving the others loose for later so you can fix it. All those things are important in order to have a beautiful piece. So be patient. I cried a lot too when I was a beginner, and how many pieces I did not melt. but just do things slowly. It doesn't matter how long it takes you, but you will get there, okay? So, I mean, I'm telling you because I went through it. I've been doing this for 18 years, and yes, patience is required for these things. Once again, I say it. I can't stress enough. Patient is the ticket to success here. Okay? So I love you guys and see you in my next video. Thank you.